Do you want a cheat code? One that allows you to successfully navigate life's challenges, that allows yourself to creatively express yourself. A cheat code that connects you to your purpose, to your passion, to have a life that's exciting and exuberant and fun. I mean, of course, don't we all want to feel more spontaneous and carefree, to laugh and sing and dance like no one's watching, to have an open heart and to find peace, genuine peace, no matter what is going on, leaving our fears behind. Well, that's a life connected to your intuition. That is a life that is connected to your spirit. And if that sounds like something that's interesting to you, but you're like, wait, how do I do that? What do I do? Well, this video, we're gonna break it down and give you some really grounded, simple tools to start to reconnect you and excavate that bright light that you are, that pulse that will lead the way moment by moment by moment. So today we are really talking about reclaiming our spirit and really letting our intuition lead. And we all have this. This is not something that is special. It's not unique. It's not that a special group of lucky people have this magic superpower. You have it. You were born with it. The moment that you took your first breath, your spirit came into your body. And you look at little kids, and this is exactly what they do. They express themselves. They have so much fun. They're connected. They're creative. They are trusting and open and curious to the world. They follow what feels good. And there are so many reasons why we end up burying this part of ourselves, of where we get disconnected. It's that we lose touch with that energy. And there are so many different reasons why this happens. If you grew up in a really harsh family that, really shamed you, that was really intense, and maybe even didn't get you, or even told you that to be nice, in that place, that's where we first start to learn that, we can't trust other people, that imprint that was left on us at such a young age that left us feeling unsafe. And so, of course, if we have the idea that it's unsafe to trust others, it might sound absolutely wild, harebrained, crazy to trust your spirit. And our little protective human part's like, oh, no, that's gonna lead us directly into danger. And it's not. Ooh, let me introduce myself. Hi, I'm Sonia. I'm a 4th generation intuitive. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit subscribe if you're new. I release new videos every week, but back to brass tacks of really why we get disconnected. And I see this day in and day out working with people in readings and in mentoring. First, our family can be a very big place and a first wounding that teaches us that to trust our spirit, to really trust ourselves, to trust these inner promptings that come in through our body are dangerous, right? So we have that. Or maybe, for example, maybe you were somebody who was really intuitively guided, but you've lost connection with that spark. You've gotten disconnected. Maybe you've undergone, suffered a financial loss, or, maybe you lost somebody that you loved. Maybe something didn't work out the way that you wanted it to. And that feeling of betrayal, in a sense, that those circumstances, maybe a broken relationship, maybe something that just left us feeling depressed and disconnected. There are so many reasons why we disconnect from our intuition. There's so many reasons why we disconnect from our spirit. But what's important to know isn't always the why, our little ego intellect. And if you are new here, our little ego intellect helps us organize, the protective shield. It talks a lot. It loves to pull from the past to project into the future. But our little ego intellect, often likes to focus on the why things happen, what went wrong, all of it. And it's always good information for awareness and insight, but we're not going to find the solution at the scene of the crime. It often is a real sticky trap that we think that if we can figure out why we got disconnected, what happened, that somehow it will lead us to reconnect. But the thing is even if it's good information, it's thinking, right? It's thinking. And intuition isn't a thought process. It's not. We connect to our heart. We connect from it's a heart feeling. It's a sensation. It's not an intellectual process. And the thing that we just first have to remember is no matter what happened, no matter why, that you can always return to this joy. You can always return to this spontaneity. You can always return to this connection, because your spirit can never be damaged. It can get buried. But as soon as we start to see that as a possibility, when we have the genuine intention, when we want to genuinely, it's like, I want to do this, I want to connect, I want that life, I want to connect to that energy. Well, that, and especially when it comes from a desire from our heart space, not from here of, I should be doing something different, but that this is something that is a genuine desire that is the keys to unlock what can be a mental prison. So many of us, when we lose touch with our authentic selves, when we lose touch with our spirit, we get stuck in our heads and we think that we can figure out and think our way into reconnecting. And that one way that we can do that, that's where that why comes in a lot. Like, if I can just figure out that what happened. I've been guilty. I know it. Then we'll have this shift. But it's kind of like the saying of, the thinking that got us into it isn't going to get us out. So it's not about thinking. It's about reconnecting to our heart space, to this portal, to this power, because this is where we connect to our spirit. This is where we get out of overthinking, this muscle that has been used so much more. It will not lead you anywhere but in circles, because the intellect will always want more information. So what we're actually having to do is starting to tune in not only to our heart space, but starting to tune into what we feel. What we feel, what we sense, what the vibration is. And when we start to acknowledge, when we start to tune into our heart space, acknowledge this self, that we start to say, okay, these are my vibes, these are these different promptings, that then all of a sudden we are creating a game changer here. Instead of trying to think, all of a sudden we become back in communication with our body, with our vibes, with our spirit. And really what this is at its heart is an awareness practice. This is an awareness practice. And when we can just have this be a daily little setup, a daily intention. So let's talk brass tacks. How can I do this? I want that. What do we do? First and foremost, first thing that you have to do as a choice is to decide that you are going to tune into your intuition every day. When you say, I'm going to make a decision, this is what I am choosing, with intention and follow through. And the thing that I know is that with our spirit, our intuition, it doesn't need a lot, but it needs consistency. This is a language, a vibration. If we really want to be navigated, because it's subtle, we have to start to pay attention and bring that awareness from out here to in here. So first and foremost, be aware. Just even here, you can even just start to even feel the energy in the room, just feel the weight of your body in your chair, and you can just start by even just taking a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale the sound. And just gently closing your eyes. And my favorite practice, hand on my heart, hand on my belly, really simple way to ground us into your spirit. You'll notice that the chatter will start to quiet. Now, what we'll do is start by scanning from head to toe, just paying attention to the subtle sensations in your body. Your body is directly connected to your spirit always, and it communicates through this portal. So just start to notice, what are the sensations? Do I feel tightness in my shoulders, in my jaw, in my chest? What part is saying, hey, neat? And then Say it out loud. This is where we get cut off. We are cut off here when we just think about it. This is where we get into the bad neighborhood. So the power of your voice is one of the most superpowers that you have. To say, I notice, I'm doing this, I'm gonna be curious. I notice that there is tingling in my stomach. Just say it out loud. Notice, what's the vibration? Right? Just even acknowledging as we're starting to pay attention to these promptings from our body, from our vibes. I'm noticing the tingling in my stomach. I'm noticing tightness in my shoulders. I'm noticing tension in my jaw. Say it out loud. Now we can go one step further. Now we can start to really plug into our intuition. And now say, I am feeling whatever your sensation is, tension in my temples, and say it without thinking. I'm feeling tension in my temples because I'm squeezed at work. Boom. Right? Wow. All of a sudden, you started to come back online. We are having a different conversation. We're not thinking about the problem. We are starting to acknowledge our vibration. We're starting to give voice. And the big key is to allow yourself to be uninterrupted. Even if this is a very new practice as we're starting, the first few might just be like coughing up fur balls. Just new practice. I'm noticing tension in my head because I don't know what I'm doing. It's like, all right, well then just keep going. Yes, and I'm noticing, and just keep going. Now, once we start to get, because our little ego intellect, that thinking mind will want to come in and be like, ooh, but once we start to get into the flow, we'll bypass that thinking mind and start to tune into our spirit and to our vibes. Now, when we start to really reclaim our uncensored voice, this really simple practice helps us tune into deeper intuitive listening. It helps us connect to our authentic self. It starts to acknowledge what is so, because honestly, intuition is also just being honest. It's being honest, giving voice to these feelings, giving voice to what is true, noticing how things affect us, noticing the energy and the vibration. So as we start to say this, then we can also go to the solution. Right? So now we are talking about portals, our vibes in our bodies. We now have excavated what it's telling us, and then we can say out loud, what is next? My spirit says the next step is to fill in the blank. Be uncensored. Keep going until it resonates in your body, till your heart goes bing. It's a feeling. It's not a thought. And really to give yourself the spaciousness to play in this exercise, to have fun with it, to lean in with that curiosity, because you are reclaiming that part of yourself. You are moving into ownership of, I trust myself. I can acknowledge, give voice and credence and weight and attention to my vibes. It's a game changer. It is a game changer. And the thing is at first we can start to even use this practice not only daily, but just even starting to notice, like, how do things make you feel? How do people make you feel? How does, people, places, things, this isn't our awareness practice. We start to now pay attention to our decisions, to be really honest, and not for anyone else, but honest with ourselves. How does this decision make me feel? Does this support, honor, express, and uplift my spirit? Or am I still in the bad neighborhood? Notice, right? As the more that we start to give this voice, that we give it presence, that we give it power, that we make it a practice, a daily practice, just like with anything, it gets better, it gets sharper. It's like musicians, at the beginning you're learning your chords, and then all of a sudden you improv and jazz. But that same thing. So where we start to excavate our intuition, it will convey your innermost truth. So start to give it voice, start to pay attention, and that will jumpstart your intuition just like that, because it connects us here. It's not here. And then even better, you can start to use your intuition in like little itty bitty ways. Instead of saying, my intuition, should I go take out this leap and do this stuff? Just go for an intuitively guided walk. Use low stakes, non-threatening ways so that we can start to bring these things back aligned. And once we start to tune in, our whole paradigm shifts. our whole paradigm shifts. We stop being afraid. We stop being afraid of our intuition. We stop being afraid of the changes. That's really often what it is. We get afraid of change, the change that our intuition prompts us to do. It's another reason why we get cut off. We're like, I'm really comfortable. I don't want to rock the boat. But instead, we recognize that those changes are not scary, but that they are, or they can be scary. Let's be honest, change can be scary. But that on the other side of that, that fear isn't what is stopping you. The familiar is. And that on the other side of that is that life connected to your purpose, to your power, to all of it, that actually protects you from the disappointments, that protects you from bad relationships, that protects you from all of the things that our head is trying to protect us from with really bad languaging and condition. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. Really use it. Just start. Body scan. Notice. Name. Pay attention. Does it connect to my heart space? Does it open that up? How can I come from here instead of here? And it's a choice. As soon as you say, I'm ready, and it's genuine desire, genuine request, that's where we open up to support from the subtle realms. You can't, if your mind is closed, if you're nothing's get by, and no, it's not gonna wrestle you. So pay attention to your choices, because your intuition is the most important part of your sensory awareness. As my mom would say, always follow your spirit. It will always lead you to your highest good. It will protect you. It will keep you safe. It will connect you. It is your superpower. Information can support your dreams. It will not create that. Only your spirit and your intuition can. And guess what? It's working perfectly. It will right now. So take a breath and just start to bring that awareness inward. Let's see how everything starts to shift. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. I would love a comment. Let me know what you think. If you're interested in developing your intuition or working one-on-one, I do intuitive readings and mentoring. You go to my site, soniatully.com, and book a discovery call if you want to mentor with me. I have all sorts of offerings and things to support you along your journey. And it is from my heart to yours. I am so grateful for your time, energy, and attention. As my Nana would say, you cannot improve upon your spirit. All you can do is allow more of it. So I'll see you next week. Bye.